Season 2? This is season 2? There's no way. It's episode 1? All right, chat. Are we watching this in real time? Are we watching this as it comes out? Usually I wait for everything to come out first and then we binge it. All right, here we go.
Open up. It's time to shoot your bow.
Great. Just when I thought the mandatory PvP checks were over. Alright, let's get this over with. Depending on how this goes, this might be my last day alive in PvP Civilization.
You owe me 1 PvP attack. That is, if you want to survive another day.
Now that I'm a bow in PvP Civilization, my life is determined by the amount of shots I have left with my bow. If my bow were to break, well, then my life would be over, which means my life is essentially 381 days
What the?
long.
He still has a sword.
Over a year, because I have to pay an attack to the PvP guards every single day, if I want to live.
Not putting up a fight today, I see. Smart choice for someone as fragile as you. Man, I'm shocked you can even lift up that bow. Your arms look like sticks.
Okay, bro, are you serious? What is wrong with you? We went over the script, and that was definitely not in the script, because I would never write something like
Yo,
that.
the production quality is going
You're
up.
the one who told me to get into
They
character.
have third-person shots now.
Alright, I'll admit, that would be something you would say. Let's just run it from the top again. Just say your lines right, okay?
Nope. I told you I would do this whole pretend thing 1 time. So that's the best you're getting.
Bro, come on. We have nothing better to do. It's not my fault the entire bow civilization turned out to be empty. I don't know how long Parrot's been gone for, but clearly things have changed since he got sent to the sword civilization. Fine, just do whatever you want. I'm gonna go journal. But just a heads up, this will be a long one, so please no interruptions. Bringing a
Wait,
video
what the
journal
hell?
machine to the bow civilization was quite possibly one of the smartest things I've ever done. I might have died of boredom if I hadn't. Alright, this is my first video journal update as a bow and PvP civilization. It took sacrifices to get here, some of them being unnecessary. I don't want to talk about it.
Evbo?
Oh, I told you, I need peace and quiet. I'm talking about emotional things.
And I'm gonna need a solid reason as to why I should keep you alive.
Uh,
Video journal machines only come from the sword civilization, which means if you're a natural born sword, I'm being generous by giving you 1 minute to explain yourself.
Uh-oh.
Okay, there's a lot we need to catch up on. Let's just run it back a little bit. The story takes us to a few days ago where I was in the
What the
PvP
fuck? He's
marketplace
still-
following Tabby's betrayal. Obviously, this was an emotional time for me, so I had to do some shopping therapy, retail therapy, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But that's when I stumbled upon something magnificent, an item that was almost too perfect for an irrational spender like myself. A PvP speaker system that cost 300 attacks. As far as I'm concerned, this was the most expensive purchase in PvP Civilization. It's probably bad that I view that as an achievement, but, well, someone's gotta buy it. I found the perfect spot in my PvP mansion to place down my new PvP speaker system, right next to my video journal machine.
No way. You actually bought the speaker system for 300 attacks?
Look, it's a part of my healing process, but fine, I'll hear your lecture on spending.
No, this could be good for us. The vibes have been off ever since Tabby stole the Eternal Sword.
Oh, thank you, you understand. Oh, that's a relief.
Don't tell the others I told you this, but I'm pretty sure if you buy more speakers, they all sync up with each other.
Once Wembu said that, well, it didn't take much time for my diamond sword to be reduced to 61 hits. But since I'm practically immortal, my concern was less about my lifespan and more about proper placement for these new speaker systems. I placed one at the battle simulator in hopes that the sword civilization one day rebuilds itself, and I'll actually be able to battle here. I placed another on the giant map that showed all of PvP Civilization, for of course when I want to study the map. Julie was very unhappy with this placement, but I told her studying was better with music. A third speaker system went into the video journal HQ, but that place is practically my second home, so that placement was an obvious one. And the final speaker system went right in front of the statue of the Eternal Sword. My goal was that one day, new diamond swords will drop down to this level, hear the music, and be happy, without having to worry about the world outside that wants them gone for just being a sword. Alright, well, let's turn this thing on.
Go! An animation already? Whoa! Dude, this is high tech! Why is bro fist bunting everyone? All right, chat. Who's mapping this? PvP Civilization, season 2, TV size.
In another life, I would have loved to be exploring the outside for the first time with my best friend. But now, I have to go and try to stop her. And I have to go alone, because apparently
Midnight
the
Arrow,
other
thank you.
dinosaurs don't want to risk their lives.
We've already gone over this. It would be strategically unwise for us to explore the outside given that we have one life.
I know, it was a joke that apparently didn't land. Minutech and I realized that if I were to leave and try to come back, I wouldn't be able to climb back up since the waterfall stopped 1 block short of the ledge. Fortunately, buying a water bucket should solve this issue. Unfortunately, I don't exactly have the funds to buy one. Look, I'm a little low on PvP attacks right now. You think you can spot me?
This will cost me precisely 3.2% of my lifespan.
Sorry, even though some of the other Diamond Swords disapprove of my spending habits, we're practically family now, and that means they've got my back. So that means I gotta have theirs by going out into the world and figuring out why everyone wants the sword people gone. If I can understand that, then I have a chance to save my friends, and maybe change Tabby's mind in the process. But in the meantime, I have to figure out how to survive in the outside world first. So let's try to do that. My feet touched the ground, and I stared out to an endless desert with nothing in sight. Looking back, I realized that this is, as far as I know, the first time in my life that I've been outside of a structure. Seeing how unfathomably large the sword civilization was made me proud at how far I've come. I started venturing out and soon saw giant mountains form in the distance. As I got closer, the mountains seemed to give way to a giant valley, almost as if the landscape was forming a path for me to follow. As I journeyed ahead, I thought back to the map of PvP Civilization. If I was right in assuming that I was in the sandstone part of the map, then that means each civilization has a valley that leads to the center point of this world. After a short while, I soon realized that I was probably correct. The valley opened up, and in the center was a giant pyramid-like structure with waterfalls flowing all the way from the top. If I had to guess, this was in fact the center of our world, which means this structure is the origin for every single player in PvP Civilization. I could tell that there were statues up at the very top, but I could barely make out what they were. Oh, alright, guess I'm going up the waterfall. On the ground in front of the waterfall, there was a small platform that had the same red coloring as the walls of the sword civilization. Looking back, I probably should have paid more attention to my surroundings instead of the architecture of this place, because when I looked up at the waterfall, there was a player dropping down right in front of me. I couldn't tell what weapon this player was holding, but whatever civilization they were a part of, they will definitely try fighting me the second they see my diamond sword. Okay, looks like we're fighting. Let's just hope the 61 PvP attacks I have left are enough to get the job done. From around the corner, I watched as the player reached the bottom of the waterfall. They started walking towards the platform, and I could see the weapon they were holding, and it was a wooden sword. They walked straight up to the red platform and then just disappeared. Look, I know how this sounds, and I also know my credibility is a little bit low given that I've been caught talking to myself a few times. But I can promise you I saw this right. The player just disappeared. So I decided to walk up onto the platform myself. All of a sudden, my surroundings changed, and I was in my room at the wooden sword level, the same room I wake up in every time I die and respawn. What's strange is that this time I didn't die though, and I still have my diamond sword. My best guess at this point is that platform sends you to the beginning of the sword civilization. I was about to go leave and find that wooden sword that just teleported here, but that's when I realized something. The last time I was in this room, Prince Zam threw a trident at my head, fortunately missed, skill issue, and it was stuck in this wall. But now it's not here, which means he has it, and that probably means I'm gonna get jump scared again. That wasn't fun. But at the very least, I have my diamond sword now, so I guess that's a little more intimidating. Anyways, back to finding the wooden sword. I have a good reason to believe that this player was a newborn wooden sword, and if that's the case, they would be in the same spot I was when I first woke up here. Turns out, I think I was right, and I found the player that teleported here that was clearly trying to understand the mechanics of the armor stand door. Eventually, though, the door opened back up, and I could confirm my theory. This player had no clue where she was, 0 wins to her name, and no memories of anything at all. This was definitely a newborn wooden sword, alright. I tried to fill them in on the basics, you know, having to PvP to survive and such, and apparently they took that very seriously because they tried to fight me. But that's when I realized her attacks did no damage at all. I even taught her a critical hit, but still I took no damage. Other than dying by Tabby with the Eternal Sword, this was kind of my first time taking damage as a diamond sword. Maybe that has something to do with it. I wished the player good luck, and I encouraged them to buy a bigger house. Am I a bad person for telling a wooden sword to waste most of their life on just a bigger house? Maybe, but come on, what's the point in living longer if you're not gonna have fun in life? So by that logic, I might be a good person. Anyways, I took a little detour at the Iron Sword level to check up on a friend. The last time we spoke, my guard friend was on a journey of self-discovery to figure out what being a shield in PvP civilization means. So last time we spoke, you said there's a door down there that might lead to other civilizations. How's that looking?
No progress yet. I still can't get the door open. I'm starting to think that maybe being a gold level guard might let me open it, but that's my only guess.
Okay, well, if you need to be a gold level guard, then let's just work on ranking you up. Okay, I'm not sure how many more hits it's gonna take for your helmet to break, but I'm running quite a bit low on PvP attacks myself.
How is that even remotely possible? I thought diamond swords have enough durability to last a lifetime.
No, you would think. Apparently they don't hold up so well when buying speaker systems, but don't worry about it. I think I have a solution. If I could, I would just die, respawn, and get a new diamond sword. But with Prince Zam out there threatening my chances to respawn, that doesn't seem like a great option. So instead, I think it's time to bury the hatchet, or bury the axe in PvP civilization terms, with Parrot. Because I think it's about time I forgave him. It doesn't look like you're too shocked to see I have a diamond sword.
If you've got a diamond sword, that must mean you came here from the outside. So that means Tabby won, but she let you live.
You are
What
right
the?
about that. She did win, just like you predicted in your message. I just wish I could have realized what was happening sooner. If I did, then maybe the Eternal Sword would still be here and we wouldn't all be in danger.
You're not the one to blame. No one in your position would have expected you to stop Tabby. Honestly, it's a miracle you're still alive. I should be the one to apologize. I should have warned you sooner. And because of that, my civilization will pay for the consequences of my actions. You see, the bows, axes, and tridents never attacked each other, but each one of them knew that whoever obtained the Eternal Sword first would seek to wipe out every civilization. I can't say for certain how long we have, but the axes are the most ruthless civilization of all, so it's safe to assume they won't hesitate to attack.
Wait, I don't get it. I thought all of the civilizations were against the swords. So why would Tabby and the axes attack the other civilizations?
Each civilization holds their own eternal weapon. If one civilization were to collect all 5, there would be no stopping them.
Well,
It's
this
like
is just great.
Exodia.
This caused the downfall of the swords. I guess I caused the downfall of the whole world. That is, unless we stop her, right? If I can go to the other civilizations and stop Tabby from getting all 5 eternal weapons, I mean, there's still a chance. Unfortunately, me being a diamond sword kind of makes that complicated.
The only way you'll have a chance of surviving in another civilization is by getting another weapon, but I can help you with that.
Let's go, I'm gonna be able to get another weapon? Okay, sounds like a plan. Wait, hold on, I actually need your help with something. And before you say no, you owe me. Parrot and I came up with a
What?
plan, and that plan was to make me a bow in PvP civilization. Parrot was confident that if Tabby was gonna infiltrate another civilization, it would be the bow civilization. So that's where we need to go if we want to try to stop her. Parrot gave us some extremely valuable information. He said that PvP guards have access to any civilization through an advanced tunnel system, which means if my guard friend can get through that door, he can come with me to the bow civilization. So how does this work? Does your helmet just grow back? And does your shield just change color?
I'm not really sure. In the past, when I've ranked up, I would just be walking around and then suddenly I'd feel stronger.
Okay, well, when that happens, meet me in the bow civilization. Now that I know that Parrot was actually a bow, I guess it makes sense why he didn't want to come down to the diamond sword level. I tried to convince him again, but he said the diamond swords have no reason to trust him. So for now, he's just gonna stay at the iron sword level. I don't know, I mean, Wembu and Julie are super chill. Minitek, a little strange, but more analytical. And Foray, it's hard to say. Foray really doesn't say anything, but now that I think about it, if Foray knew that Parrot was a bow, yeah, he'd probably die. Alright, I guess it's fine that he stays here. As long as he uses his durability wisely, I mean, he should be fine. It's not like there's anyone there to fight him.
Oh.
You and I are gonna talk. I want to know why you're the only one still alive.
Here's when I realized
What the-
something crazy. This is the first time I've gone through the sword civilization as a diamond sword. And I'm pointing that out because that's the only reason I can think as to why I kept my water bucket when I dropped down to the golden sword level. Normally, I would have lost all of my items by now, but I guess that could explain how Tabby was able to bring her items down to the diamond sword level. Anyways, the reason why this is so important is because when I figured this out, I went straight outside and back to the top of the sword civilization again. I grabbed one of my spare video journal machines. I mean, come on, did you really think I wouldn't buy extras for emergencies? And now I could make sure that the video journals didn't end when I went to the bow civilization. Speaking of video journals, well, obviously I had to update the video journal eventually. This is kind of getting weird. This is like a video journal within a video journal. But anyways, here's what I said in that video journal. All right, well, it's been a minute, but now I'm preparing to go to the bow civilization. If I have any chance of surviving there, I'm gonna need a bow of my own. Fortunately, Parrot filled me in on how to get one. So here's how it works. In PvP Civilization, if a player eliminates someone with the sword, or any weapon of that matter, the defeated player drops the weapon they were holding, and the durability of that weapon gets added on to the weapon they were defeated by. So that's why when I eliminated some of the axes that were here, all it did was just add durability to my sword. But check this out. If a player is defeated by a secondary item instead of an actual weapon, the defeated player's weapon can be picked up and put in your inventory to be used as another weapon. So that's how all the other civilizations got swords, and that's how I'm gonna get a bow.
I could only assume that the outside world must have been overwhelming, given the fact you're journaling instead of sharing your knowledge with all of us.
Or I just forgot. Yeah, I should probably fill everyone in on everything I just learned. So signing off. After getting everyone
What the
caught up,
fuck?
well, I needed a flint and steel as a secondary item if I was gonna get a bow. And since I virtually had no durability still, well, Wembu clutched up this time. Like I said, we're family, and you know, what's family without asking for a few handouts? Alright, it's time to get serious though. If I do manage to successfully get a bow, I'll be going into a civilization where everyone is against the swords. So naturally, fights will be inevitable, but I'm gonna try to avoid
Wait,
that
does
as
that
much
mean that
as
he killed
possible,
someone?
'cause
He
even
killed
though
a
I'll
bow?
respawn, Prince Zam is still definitely out there, and I don't want to die for real. I made it back to the center of PvP.
At the beginning of the video, he had
There was a bear
durability.
dropping down the waterfall. This was my perfect chance to get a bow. As far as I know about the platform
What the
players,
fuck?
I should just walk straight to the platform. So, well, hopefully this is enough fire. Unfortunately, the player was walking way too fast, and I kind of panicked and had to end it right there.
Yeah!
Okay, I know this video journal has been really long, but remember from the
just
beginning
killed him!
when I said there were some unnecessary sacrifices made? Yeah, that was this guy. I was so focused on placing down the fire, and I didn't even realize that wasn't even a bow. What is wrong with me? That was a wooden sword. After that, I stood there for a few minutes in complete silence. I kept thinking about how he didn't even get the chance to fight back. This world is so unfair. At the end of the day, it was an honest mistake, and the only thing I can really do now is dedicate this video journal to that guy. So, this one goes out to the blue hoodie man. Anyways, I walked around the structure to the correct side, the one where I was supposed to be, and I saw the walls of the giant structure changed from a red color to green. The same green color that was on the map of PvP Civilization. If I'm at the right place, then I guess green symbolizes the bow civilization. So now, I just have to wait for a newborn wooden bow to drop down and hope that whatever's
A
left of my
wooden
flint and
bow?
steel will be enough to get the job done. A few moments later, I saw a player coming down the waterfall, and I made sure this time that it was a player holding a bow. The only way this works is if I take out the bow with only a flint and steel. If I hit the player with my sword once, I won't get the bow. I thought the player was gonna walk past the fire and make it to the platform, but just then, the player took one more hit of damage and the bow was left sitting there on the ground. I walked over to it, and instead of adding on to my durability of my diamond sword, the bow was in my inventory, along with a singular arrow. I'm not really sure how that got there, but it worked. I was hesitant at first, but I went for it. And for the first time in my life, I was holding a weapon that wasn't a sword. I was now a bow in PvP Civilization. I had to be careful when switching out my weapons, because everyone knows in PvP Civilization, if you stop holding a weapon, well, it's game over. But for the journey ahead, I would only be needing a bow. Hopefully. I stepped up onto the green platform and instantly was teleported somewhere. I was inside of a room that looked similar to the one I started off in the Sword Civilization. The only things in here were a bed and a sign that said I had 0 wins. I was definitely in a new civilization. So at that moment, I knew I had to be prepared for anything once I opened the door. I wasn't sure how this worked, but I shot my one arrow at the armor stand and the door opened. Naturally, I tried to go retrieve the arrow, but it didn't look like it could be picked up. However, a few seconds later, I checked my inventory and somehow there was another arrow there. I guess being a bow in PvP Civilization means you always have an arrow on you. I stepped out of my room to explore the bow civilization, and I saw that my room was basically on the edge of a cliff with water down below. I saw giant walls with a more intricate green design. I saw armor stand doors, just like in the sword civilization, but what I didn't see were people. Now, I know this is PvP Civilization, and people don't come out too often because they don't want to risk their lives unless they absolutely have to, but this civilization was definitely different.
You know, this
There
kind of
was not
reminds me
even
of
a
like
single
Maze
guard in
Runner.
sight.
You guys seen that show?
Completely empty. That was until I saw the miraculous sight of a PvP guard holding a golden shield. It looked like my plan worked, and my guard friend made it to the bow civilization with me. Then I set up my video journal, did the whole skit thing with the PvP guard, was kind of unsuccessful, and now we're here. I should probably get off though, because there's a bow standing right here. So on that note, signing off.
While it's hard to make sense
Did
of
bro
any
just
of that,
like listen
I
to
can't
all that?
imagine the other Diamond Swords would have wanted that story told here.
I'll admit I probably shouldn't have said any of that in front of you, but I'm committed to the journal.
To be quite honest, no explanation was going to help you survive. I just wanted to see what I could learn. Now I'll do my part in making sure the swords never destroy this world again.
Look, you
Huh?
don't
What
understand.
do you mean again?
I came here trying to save your civilization. Someone has the Eternal Sword, and they're coming for the Eternal Bow next. I just want to help.
Take a look around you. What do you think happened here? They stole the bow and wiped most of us out. And as far as I'm concerned, you led them here.
The Eternal Bow is already gone? Wait, what do you mean by they? How many were there?
2 diamond axes. That's all it took to wipe our civilization off the map. In all my time alive, I've never seen players like them. The speed, the strength, the intelligence they had.
Yo, it's
We fired
Clown!
off every single arrow we had, and it got us nowhere. The only thing that secured my civilization's survival was my promise to them that I would help deal with the rest of the swords. So, as it stands with the deal I made, I can promise you there's no reality where you leave here alive.
That's it? No! Chat, this is why I hate watching shows as they come out. Fucking me, dude. Does Ebbo live? Does Ebbo die? Of course he won't fucking die because he has the fucking respawns. But does he get sent back into the PvP Civilization respawn point? Will he get ambushed by the Trident dude? Will he... Yeah. I'm used to watching weekly anime, so this is fine. Hey, chat, has No Game No Life Season 2 come out yet? It's been a couple years, bro. Surely.